guys, it is Tuesday and we're in the kitchen, and this is starting canning season. Doesn't have to be from the garden, but you should think about it before you want to prepare for the year. So this is not dry canning. This is canning in a way you would never realize. So we're going to make butter that you can put in a jar and put it on a shelf, and it's safe. So first and foremost, if you have some jars, you're going to boil them, or you can wipe them down with vinegar. It is your. I'm going to sterilize and boil mine. Not a big deal. As I got it on high, not a big deal. Next step is I went to the store and bought the cheapest stick butter I can find, and we're going to melt that all down. So don't worry. Just hang on one step at a time. Now bring the bottles to a boil. We're going to let that do this for like 6 more minutes, and we're going to turn that off. We've started melting the butter. We need to bring that to a boil, and then I'll show you the next step. Hi guys, so here's all of the lids, nice and sterilized. Here's the jars, upside down on a rack, drying. So that part has been done. The butter is just starting to boil, and you want it to boil till it's clear. So it's just starting to break up and become that clear liquid. So we have a little bit of ways to go. Now while this starts to boil and becomes clear, we take our cheesecloth and we're going to use it when we drain it. And we're going to, get all the impurities out. You'd be surprised what's in butter when what you don't see that's in the butter. So we're going to use this as well. We're going to cut this. Let's see if I can do it this way. There we go. So we're going to put the cheesecloth back in its bag so it stays clean. Or if you have another bag, you can do that. So we want to turn this down because it's boiling a little too strong, but we don't want it to boil over onto the stove. But this is what we want. This is what we want it to do. How you know it's clear? You can pull out and the bubbles go away. If you see nothing, then it's clear, but it's not there yet. So turn it down a little more. Stir this way because we don't want it to go over the edge. And if we get close, we just move it away. This away. See, there's already things popping up. That's, So this takes a little bit of time. If you are interested in canning or all types of canning, now this is, you don't have to sterilize your jars. You can just wipe them out with vinegar if you choose to. But they're new, they've been on the shelf, they've been sitting there for a while. I feel better doing it that way. So, there we go. Getting there. So it's going to take a bit. I will let you know when we're ready for the next step. See you then. Hi guys, we are back. This is ready. The jars are in the oven. They're warming up to 220. They're not going to be too hot, but they're going to be hot enough. We're going to bring them out of the oven. We're going to set them right here next to the butter. We have spoons, so 2 spoons, so we can fill them up. Now, the one thing I don't have is one of those metal funnels to put in, but no worries, okay? No worries. So we're going to do this
with all our butter. And you don't want to boil it. I mean, you can turn it to a slight bubble like this, but you don't want to cook it till you start, you know, you want to constantly stir it. You want to, you know, do all that stuff. We're just waiting to the, they're getting there. They're getting there. You want the glass jars to be hot, even though I did sterilize them. So that's important. So, there it is. White House. We have our vinegar to wipe the rings of the jars. Most people use paper towels, but you all know I have reusable non-paper towels. I'm gonna go get one of those for you. As you watch the butter cook. So here they are. They're reusable. So we're going to use this to wipe the jars lids before we put, here's the vinegar. We'll put that off to the side. Well, we got to keep this stirred because you want to stir it as you're putting it into the jars. So next step, make sure you got these. Okay, you pull these out of the oven. They are hot. Yes, they are hot. So let's get them out. Get these jars out. I guess it's really an overkill because I already sterilized them. So make sure you're holding these jars, you are holding them with this because you don't want to, right? I'm actually probably using the wrong hand for this. So take this over here. You don't want to waste nut, but I want to stir every time I scoop up some liquid because you don't want it to settle to the bottom and forget about it. So and then once you do that for about an hour, you kind of will shake the jars constantly. Make sure it stays well mixed. Okay. After you put the lids on for an hour, and then you should be able to let it sit there. Now some people say 3, some people say 5 years. I can guarantee at least 4. There are so many ways. Some people actually use pressure cookers. That is actual canning, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think you need to do that. This is not a canning. It's a type. It's a type of canning, but it's not like, oh God, you gotta have a pressure cooker, you gotta water bath it, you gotta. No. You're just melting the butter. You're sterilizing the jars. You're putting them in the oven. You're keeping them warm. Putting the warm liquid into the jars. You put the lids. Wipe the vinegar. It's important because any residue on the rims of the jars will literally ruin the seal. Then you will have to put in the refrigerator. So, yeah. So you stir every time you pick one of these up. Now, I had 7 boxes of butter. Now, they say you can use any. So most people use the cheapest butter, or you can use your favorite butter, or you can use the most expensive. But if you use butter, you're going to be using the very expensive. That's slightly different because it's milk product, and you want to scrape that stuff off the top before you start canning it. Yeah, or drain it through a cheesecloth. Yep. So that's important. Very important. So there you go. That is how I can my butter. And don't forget, I gotta be here for an hour shaking these things, keeping them mixed. Oh, you fill them up to the very bottom rim. You don't want to go past that rim, guys. You want to make sure you keep it there. I definitely will have to invest in some stuff. Of course, the cost of butter and anything is going up so high that it's just crazy. So you want to do long term. Yep, long-term butter. So I hope this helps you out. Once I'm done doing a shaky, I will then put them in my pantry. Some people put them in the refrigerator until they're completely cool, but I think that's rushing the process. Never rush the process. So I hope this helped you, and I hope to see you at my next video. And if you don't mind, hit like, subscribe, and check out that notification bell. I'll see you all later.